She's done it on a phone. It's a bit of a shame.
Timelines are splitting. What does this mean? How are you feeling? Let me know in the chat or in the comments down below. We're going to be diving deep into what the timeline splitting event actually means for you and how to navigate into New Earth. Choose wisely. It is time to understand deeply what this reality really is so that we can make the quantum leap to our divine inheritance of the new earth. So if you are ready for the new earth, please put a like on the video. We are going to be talking all about the hologram today, understanding the quantum physics of the hologram.
I'll just pause that there. The timeline is splitting. She mentioned Quantum Leap, which is a TV show. And apparently, so I couldn't even, I was going to critique what she said. I was going to critique it, but I let her run a bit, and now she said 3 things, and I can't, what was it? Timeline splitting, Quantum Leap, quantum physics of the hologram. You got to keep your eye on these chuffers, because before you know it, they'll have said too many words and you won't know what they're saying. The quantum physics of the hologram. Make sure I don't forget about the quantum physics of the hologram. Actual quantum physics, do you mean? Or I'm going to go to the bathroom break. Big ups Alex7VN. Ezio Eric attacks. See, I don't know what any of that means. I'm going to change this to just chatting, and I'm going to move over to the bathroom, where I'm going to utilise the bathroom. But you can listen to this nutter talk chuff while I'm in the bathroom. So, hang on, come on. I should be able to just change this to just chatting. Who put a video game called Just chatting? I should be able to do that very quick and simply done. Yeah. Just chatting about the quantum physics of the hologram.
And the big timeline shift that is happening right now. Yes, it's happening right now. Do you feel it? You might be feeling it, right? Because when these timeline splits happen, what occurs is that you're starting to feel almost like you're being pulled in both ways, right? Are you gonna stay on the old earth, or are you gonna move into these higher frequencies? So it is this pulling effect, okay? It can feel a little bit harsh on your body sometimes. It can feel overwhelming, okay? So I'm going to assist you today as we make this shift and navigate into the new earth together as one. It is time. No longer will we be in the motherboard simulation. We are headed into Mother Earth, into the organic blueprints of this holographic reality. I know when we talk about holograms, you think it's a simulation, it's AI, but the holographic model is actually a beautiful design by Source itself. So I always want to put that out there. I used to be a programmer, I used to be a coder. Okay, so I understand reality on a deep level in terms of code. So we're gonna be talking about what do codes mean? How are we actually coding reality?
Shut up. If the timeline splits, one of me will go on one timeline, and one of me will go on the other timeline. Whatever the fuck it is. If it's the timeline where I had ice cream and I didn't, on that split, one of me will go one way and one of me will go the other way. You're telling me that I am going to, in some way, be the one that chooses to go one way, but then who's the person that goes the other way? One of me's still going to suffer. Am I going to end up being the bad one because I'm critiquing it? Is it going to be shit world and good world? Or is it just different world and different world? And how many of these timeline splits happen? And is it just one, is it? We're preparing for a big one. And in some way, we're going to exit the matrix out of the hologram, but it's just like source code. The hologram is. I mean, she's confusing ideas as well, because there is the basic premise that, you know, you can create with code, and there it could be, therefore you could question, is there an underlying code to the universe? And then you could sort of say, well, physics and quantum physics and stuff like that, you know, you use what do you call them? When they do all the letters, E equals MC squared. You know, you do code sort of stuff with that. Like, sounds good, doesn't it? There's people on the internet, they do this thing called word salad. It's not just on the internet, it's been going for a long time. You say a lot of words, and you say a quick enough of, you say enough of them quick enough, and they're complicated words, and if you're not that, you know, and you're not catching on, you're just like, oh yeah, it sounds right, yeah, well that's good. Like, she does this word salad where it's just like, use all the buzzwords, stick them on it, but if you slowed it down, you know, if I had her on the stream and said, right, stop, just explain one thing for me. Let's get it one thing really clear in our minds so we know what we're talking about. I think we'd have troubles.
You are a hologram hacker. Yes, and it's time to break free from the old motherboard simulation. So
wait. There's a timeline split. The timeline is one of us is going to break free from the motherboard simulation. And what is the motherboard simulation? Exactly.
what does that mean, Ireland? Motherboard versus Mother Earth, okay? The motherboard, okay, if you don't understand what a motherboard is in a computer, it's the circuitry of the computer.
Yeah, I know. So it's that you've used motherboard and Mother Earth, and they're same sort of soundy names and words, but I know what a motherboard is, but what the fuck do you mean?
It's the electricity. It runs power.
It runs power? I thought you were a coder. What's going on with your eyes? In fact, what is going on with her eyes? I've just zoomed this one, like, you know, in. I haven't done anything weird with her eyes, but her eyes are weird. I wouldn't trust people like this on the internet with weird eyes who claim to be coders. The motherboard runs power. Can anyone... I thought the motherboard was just like, you have like a base unit that you then attach everything to. So you need a graphics card, that's going to go on the motherboard. You need a GPU, that's going to go on the motherboard. But the motherboard itself doesn't run power. It distributes power through the circuits, but you have to arrange you know, you have to arrange everything, and then you have to provide power. Like, power is a separate unit. You plug it into the motherboard. I think I'm right in saying that. So she hasn't explained it properly.
To the rest of the computer. So for a long time, family, we were the power to the AI motherboard, to their program.
We are the power for the artificial intelligence motherboard. Okay, but where is this motherboard? It exists, it's a physical item, and it's running the artificial intelligence now. Got it. And I am the power source. Okay, where is the motherboard?
Their game, right?
For their game. Who's they?
And that game was preset.
The game was preset. But you have free choice in it, don't you? A bit like my game that I've just been playing. I can do what I want. Like, you know, but it was preset.
It was preset in Solidity, 3D.
In Solidity, 3D. What do you mean? These things don't go together as words. Now you're doing the word salad.
Density, right?
3D density. What do you mean? Like, they have mass. Their artificial intelligence game from the motherboard was preset. Do you mean previously set or preset? Like, you know, presets. Like, anyway, so their artificial intelligence game that's created by the motherboard is now solid in 3D, and it is the world we live in, and it's physical, but it's created on a motherboard, which in itself is, like, the motherboard in itself is a physical thing, isn't it? Like, you need a physical... Like, you're talking in circles, because what is the physical world that has the motherboard in it? Let's talk about that first, because that's the start point, isn't it? They've created a motherboard. They, somewhere, have created a motherboard. And on that motherboard is the chipset that runs the artificial intelligence. I'm following your guidance. And so as part of that chipset, and as part of following the artificial intelligence, that in itself is creating a solid world. I'm going to put this on my hand now. That that little man there, the guy, he represents the solid world that we live in, as created for by the motherboard. Yeah, now it's a solid world. Am I getting this? So my question is, where's the motherboard? That's in a solid world as well. Where's the motherboard?
Everything's solid. We're locked in. No powers. Subservient, right? Slaves. You're a slave, Neo.
Slaves. And she says you're a slave, Neo, talking about The Matrix. The film, The Matrix. I mean, The Matrix does have some interesting philosophy and psychology and, philosophy behind it, but not so much just in the, like, it's not the, I love the way they reference The Matrix all the time, right? Because it's not the most philosophical thing. It's not the most, like, intellectual premise, but it's an interesting one that they can get their heads around. But yeah, so The Matrix again, right? So now it's The Matrix. Hang on, she mentioned Neo, but let me just take it back. Hang on. What did she say? What did she actually say to me?
Density, right?
This density.
Everything's solid. We're locked in. No powers.
We're locked in and no powers because everything's solid, but we do have powers. Like, you want to have a conversation about free will? That's a completely different argument, but we can talk about free will. And that's a very interesting conversation to have regarding artificial intelligence. Will it have free will? At what point will it have free will? What will it do with its free will? Do we have free will? You know, there are interesting conversations that can be had, indeed have been had, by interested scholars. So we could maybe refer to some of the things they've thought about and said, instead of just rambling this nonsense.
Subservient, right? Slaves. You're a slave, Neo. So the motherboard itself, we can see in the cities, we could see it, right?
We can see it in the cities. I don't know what you mean by that, but I'm just realizing that you are talking to me from within the motherboard. If I am inside the motherboard world, yeah, if I'm inside that and it seems really fucking real to me, where are you talking to me from? Are you engaging through YouTube? Are you real, in inverted commas, like I'm real? Or are you not in my world, you're in this hologram world? And if so, why is the motherboard allowing you to do this? Why is the Matrix allowing you to tell me this? Wouldn't they shut you down? Wouldn't they hear it in their artificial intelligence? Hang on, someone's grassing up the motherboard here. Quick, shut her down.
Little microchips sticking out.
Little microchips stick. Wait. There are no little microchips sticking out in the city. Please.
Cities, we could see it, right? Little microchips sticking out. We're the tiny little batteries powering everything up, not knowing that most people are walking around as zombies. Everybody's talking about a zombie apocalypse. We've been in a zombie apocalypse, family.
No, look. Okay, we're the batteries charging up the motherboard, but we are created by the motherboard. Right? So the logic doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm the battery that charges the system. But the system creates me. So which came first, the chicken or the egg? Which came first, the battery or the motherboard? Don't talk shit. Don't talk shit.
He's powering everything up, not knowing that most people are walking around as zombies.
And nobody, like, it's not like everybody's talking about the zombie apocalypse. The reason people talk about the zombie apocalypse is because it's entered mainstream culture. Like, there was films and video games and, like, The Walking Dead, yeah, and comic books and Netflix series like HBO Max or whatever. Like, that's why we talk about it. But you know why we actually talk about zombies in popular culture? Obviously, there are. Come on, Minky. There are old traditions, old traditions of voodoo and things like that. You know, the zombie itself as a concept goes back. But the reason we talk about it a lot in modern culture is because they made some films about zombies, didn't they? And one of them specifically, I believe the allegory was that the zombies were like. The zombies represented the consumers who mindlessly, I think there was a mall involved and they were in a mall and like they mindlessly consume and, you know, you are living like a zombie. But she doesn't really understand how modern cinema has impacted on her life. Instead, she's putting it down to what is it? The motherboard.
Everybody's talking about a zombie apocalypse. We've been in a zombie apocalypse, family. Everybody's been fast asleep.
Welcome to the welcome to the allegory that you didn't understand, that has stood the test of time.
Under the spell.
A spell now. Now it's magic spells.
Of the controllers.
A spell of the controllers. The Fat Controller. Choo choo, Thomas the Tank Engine. I don't think you're allowed to call it the Fat Controller anymore. The spell of the controllers now. So, I don't know. I thought it was not magic. I thought it was coding that was written on a motherboard. But now it's magic spells. I wish she would tell me. I wish she would stick to one point and tell me exactly what she fucking means.
So we are shifting out of that now. As the timelines are splitting, the Earth's frequency is going on up. You guys...
We're shifting out of that now anyway, because the Earth's splitting. Or the frequency is going up or something.
Already know?
What do you mean the frequency is going up? Do you understand how frequency works? The frequency of the Earth is going up. Do you know what a frequency is? It's a measurement of a waveform. So which frequency? What do you mean? The frequency? Do you mean the electromagnetic frequency is increasing? Or do you mean the frequency of our orbit around the sun? Like which aspect of frequency do you think is increasing?
It is time. The Ascension is on and popping.
The Ascension is on and popping, and she has been given the vital information to impart to the rest of us because the motherboard has decided to let one through.
But during this time period, you have to learn how to navigate through the shifting of timelines, or like I said, it gets overwhelming.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed, strange body language there with your nice hands. If you're feeling overwhelmed, then you could choose to give her money on Patreon. That's what this is about. This is a 20-minute live stream. Obviously, she's going to talk a load of shit, so I'll skip on.
It's like in our body, all of our cells are working together for us.
Right.
We are the cells working together. We have a specific job for Gaia. So continue to bring forth that mission.
So now we are the cells for Gaia, who is like the Earth goddess. But before we were the batteries for the we were the batteries for the motherboard. The self-created motherboard batteries now need repurposing into cells for Gaia. Like, you see, she's just a fucking mess, this one. This one is just a mess. Just a jumble of mistaken ideas. But she knows it's all bollocks. She literally knows it's bollocks. And the reason she spouts it for 20 minutes a day is to get people on the Patreon. I'll skip on.
Artificial frequencies, inorganic frequencies, going bye-bye, but stop feeding them. Remember, if you feed the parasite, it will continue to grow. So stop feeding them.
Parasites actually feed off you, like you feed off your audience. That's a really good analogy. You feed off people like a parasite, as you glom onto people on the internet. You go out there, the internet's like the sea, and you're like just like a little worm, and like something like, you know, something will come past, you'll glom onto them, get your teeth in. People give you, it's a weird one actually, because people give you money, don't they? But you get them in Patreon, and then you give them more of this manipulation. This is just brainwash, manipulation, brainwash, until they give you money. You're a sucky suck parasite. You are parasite.
Ask yourself every day. This is what I'm going to leave you guys off with. Ask yourself every day. Motherboard? Is this a motherboard frequency that I'm feeling? If I'm feeling anxiety, depression, pain,
If you're feeling anxiety, depression and pain, giving this woman money on Patreon or whatever is not going to help you. And listening to her talk this sort of shit is not going to get you out of it. We've got very real action. Like, people might think, oh, Scotty Hotty's just poo-pooing people, and like, you know, she's trying to help them. It's the opposite, isn't it? She's just trying to use people who are depressed and feeling down for money, and she sees them as vulnerable people that she can manipulate, so she targets them. Whereas what we do is we offer free mental health support on a channel called Mental Health Monday, and it legit is actionable, proper mental health support. So we give to charities. She pretends like she is one. She's a vile, vile person, in my opinion, for doing this.
overwhelm. Is this motherboard or is this Mother Earth? Okay? Yes, Makola, we're setting up the jungle. We're going back to Eden. We're going back to just being divine avatars. You watch Avatar? You love Avatar, right?
Yeah, so things are all like they are in the movies then, yeah? So you've got a lot of your ideas from the movies. Like, is there a possibility that you, in your limited understanding of the world around you, with the limited amount of research and exploration that you've done in your life, have not found the answers, but instead have found a way to confuse people on the internet into giving you money? Is it possible that that is more likely the truth?
Because it connects with your soul, right? I don't see the city in Avatar, but they
Avatar connects with your soul. So a film that they designed primarily to shift like product merchandise and ticket sales connects with your soul. Could it be that there are deeper and more meaningful pieces of art out there that could connect with your soul in more deeper, meaningful ways if you were more open to it instead of looking for the... See, we're looking at this through the prism of YouTube. We're watching this on YouTube. So is it possible that spiritual enlightenment exists outside of YouTube? Is it possible that it's that? Is it possible that you probably don't find spiritual enlightenment in a TikTok? Is it that? It's even less likely you will find spiritual enlightenment in her PayPal or Patreon or whatever the fuck she wants you to do.
They tried to take over Avatar with all their machines, right?
You're speaking to me through the machines. The artificial intelligent algorithms have served your video to me because I like nutters on the internet. You're speaking to me through the machines. You've used the machines to filter out your face.
The rainforest out, right? But the earth was their home, right? We're going back, family. We're going back one step at a time. We're all assisting each other, okay? We're all helping each other out.
And she talks in this way about helping each other out because not that she wants to build a community, but she wants you to feel that you should help people out. Maybe her. Maybe her. Since we're helping each other out, maybe help her out. So what she wants to do, she drums this in. It's part of her. She sees this. She's got like a 30-minute hypnotic induction, essentially, where she rambles a load of shit and drops a few buzzwords. Sometimes the buzzwords involve, things that might benefit her. And she thinks she's a bit of a smart one. She thinks she can hypnotize idiots on the internet because probably, I haven't seen how many patrons she's got. We'll have a little look in a minute, but probably because it does work for some strange reason on some people, some poor misguided people on the internet. But also, I would quite like to note that she's doing exactly what I would like to do. Look, she's in the location with the big window behind her, and it looks like the seaside or something. I'd like to run a stream like this and do work from an Airbnb and do a stream with the view behind me. It's just I don't want to have to rip people off to do it. I'd rather provide some value in media. Like if you're doing media, because she's making media, it's just that her media is an advert for herself, so you can sign up to her Patreon. Whereas other people can do media that creates value, because everything she said in this bollocks, she said it loads of times before, so there's nothing new here. It's just the same old bollocks, isn't it, miss?
So I hope you enjoyed this message, family. Links are in my description for the Patreon community.
There you go.
We're going to be doing some advanced avatar training this Sunday. We have
Advanced avatar training. What the fuck do you mean? We are the avatars that we have created. You told me it was like that film. What training do I need to do? What advanced training do I need to do in Patreon? Well, I suppose I'll never know unless I pay you some monies.
tons of recordings up there. We've gone many places. I do hypnosis. We've gone to...
I do hypnosis. Do you see? She thinks she's clever because she thinks that her limited knowledge of hypnosis involves... She thinks that you can hypnotize people on the internet to join your Patreon through this bollocks. So when she says, I do hypnosis, she's not wrong. She tries to.
Atlantis, Lemuria, we've gotten codes, DNA activations. I'm going to put a recipe up there, light body detoxing recipe, really good pasta recipe, okay?
A pasta recipe. I'll be sure to give you my money for that. A pasta recipe.
All living foods. I put recipes, blog posts on the Patreon. Link is in the description. My website is finally done.
Hooray! You've got enough money to start a website. I'm looking for the links here, right? And the links have website, Facebook, Instagram, email, PayPal, and then Patreon. So Patreon's the last one on the list, but 124 posts. It doesn't tell me how many people are joined, but you can go for £4 a month, £15 a month, or £28.50 for a New Earth's Ascension support package. So for the big tier, you get all... Oh, you go upwards. Okay, so you get 3 monthly live Zooms, a live Zoom call, 3 monthly. So that's 3 times a month, a live Zoom call, with sometimes with guest speakers, means someone else is going to do the Zoom call, right? So 3 times a month she does a Zoom call for £4 support, which is the minimum. That's quite a lot to be doing. I don't know how many people you can get on a Zoom call. Like what if there's 200? Can you get 200 on a Zoom call? Or do you have to do these? I'm assuming you do it to the group. You know, the Zoom call goes out to the group. You do it 3 times a month and it goes out to the group. I mean, I'm guessing she doesn't do this, but this is what she's advertising. Ascension Group Support Coaching, which means you get access to the Facebook group. Fuck, look at all this. Light Body Ascension Symptoms Health Detoxing Assistance. A free consultation where she will sell you the concept that she can heal you through psychic means, and you can pay her more money for the healing. Hypnotic guided meditations to clear pain body, activate your highest avatar potential. She's done a guided meditation video and you get to listen to it, and it won't be very good compared to the ones that other people who have done proper research can do. In-depth classes on varied ascension topics and teachings, New Earth relationships, quantum physics, naturopathy, Golden Age blueprints. Apparently there are in-depth classes. Again, I would guess previous videos. Energy updates, ascension tools, and personal update blogs. Her blog. Live Zoom connections where you can share and collaborate with the tribe. You can talk to the other people in the Discord. That's what you get here, is you get to join the group, and the group involves being sold bollocks more at you, and you can go in the Zoom call 3 times a month. And I assume it's 20 minutes of her doing what she just did on... Like, where... Hang on, wait. Like, it didn't say exactly what it was that you get. Like, you can be in a Zoom call and you get, like, guided meditation and classes, but it doesn't really outline what's in the classes and what the curriculum is. And, you know, it seems like all the bollocks she just was saying, she's just going to say it behind Patreon. That's what that seems like. If you want to upgrade your tier to $15.50 a month, you get exactly the same thing. Nothing additional. And if you want to upgrade to $28.50 a month, well, then you're at $28.50 a month. So you get exactly the same thing, nothing additional. Doesn't stop there. For £38 a month, you can have nothing additional, just exactly the same thing. And she's done a post look, New Earth relationships, 3 days ago. And then light body activations. And then here's a Zoom replay. We can have a look at the Zoom replay.
Oh, wait, hold on. This is... All right, I think that is the recording, so it just looks different this time. Okay. All right, so let me just go ahead. Yeah, okay, thank you, Shannon. There was an update, because I was like, what the heck is this recording?
That is how Alan will end up with Zoom on Patreon like that, talking to them on phone calls on Zoom. So she just talks to people on Zoom. Look, there they all are. Fucking hell, look at them all. No way. Look at them all. Nutters. A whole room full.
Okay.
I love it. I'm going to have to join this. I'm going to have to... Do you think they'll bin me out? Do you think they'll kick me off? I want to be in that room. I want all of us in that room. I want all of us in the room. I don't think we should all give her £4. That's bad. But it would be fucking funny to be in that room, wouldn't it?
Let me go ahead and just...
Oh, I can't pause it to get the screenshot. Hang on.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect. All right.
Okay, I've got
So
the
good to
screenshot.
see all of you.
I mean, that's how
Thank
many
you for
people. That tells me how many people are watching as well. And it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 by 5, so 20 or so. And I expect the majority are paying the bottom end £4. So it's like 80 quid, nearly £100. So the thing is, right, that's a big commitment for £100 a month. But it's £100 a month. And maybe they give her more tippies and other stuff as well. But like, imagine that's your average showing, like, unless they're paying more, unless they're on the higher thing, you know. But at the bottom end, you've allowed £4 a month tier for the same as the top tier. So I don't know why anyone would pay for the top tier. £66 it goes up to if you want. But yeah, so you can be on the Zoom call with her. And there's a fucking load of them. There were a load of them. A lot of them didn't want to show their faces, but I'll just quickly tweet it so I can show it to you because it's the quickest way I can do it. Paste like that. So there they all are. One of them's lying down. I hope he's not paralysed and he's just having a lie down. There's Ireland herself. Then there's that guy with the beard. This lady. This lady. Then next row down, we've got a black screen. This guy's got his full green screen on. Oh, that guy gives me the fucking shivers, that guy with the full green screen. He's the Alan of the group. He's an Alan. Is that Alan? Yeah. Like, let me zoom it. Come on. I'm big. They should be big, shouldn't they? Come on now. Come on now. Let me zoom you in a bit on some of my favourite lookers from the group. And how am I going to infiltrate? I suppose I could just infiltrate. But I kind of want this. I kind of want this more than I want her. Who's this? What are you doing in the group? You've got a Joy Division top on. Could be British. Could be British Manchester based. Why are you in a space station? Why have you gone for the green screen space station? Contestant number 1, what's your name and where'd you come from? So we've got him. And then we've got lady. And then we've got lady with headphones. I'll tell you what lady with headphones looks like. Again, she's got the green screen on. She's in heaven. She's joining us from heaven. Someone's nan. She's joining us from heaven. Then we've got a man with beard. And then we've got a couple, an actual couple. And then these are people I assume who don't have their face cam on. There's somebody who looks reasonably normal. That's me. That's me trying to just get past under the radar in the middle there. That'll be what I would look like in the group, isn't it? But I shouldn't say that because they might turn out to be a full nutter. Then we've got another person, and then we've got someone on the bottom row, and a lady who's not. That's just a picture, isn't it? That's not what she's actually doing in the. Like, she's not standing there like that. Hang on, I need to get her next. Like, I'm assuming she's just. That's a picture that she has up. That she doesn't stand there like that during the streams while talking to the Zoom call, or maybe she's walking around with the camera, or maybe she's got the camera set up somewhere. See, she seems like someone that's naively bought into the whole concept, and maybe she's into a bit of witch magic or something, and she thinks that the world's going to split in half or something. I don't know. Actually, she seems a bit sharper than that. I'm surprised that she's in the group. Maybe some of them are fake accounts that she just puts on, so it looks like there are people in the room. Also, let me just check this. Ireland there. I thought that was Ireland there. She's wearing yellow and has got her hair up.
For joining.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, okay, that is her. So she's in her own picture there. Yeah.
This important activation. Yes, it's all about the soul.
Tell you what, it would be fucking weird for me if I was streaming and I could see all of your little faces in the little pictures. That would be fucking weird.
Solar plexus, we got the yellow on, we're getting activated. Specifically, Spirit told me that this specific chakra gets affected the most during a solar eclipse. That's why I wanted to do the activation before, because we won't see each other before the next solar eclipse. So now it.
Oh, there's another one here with another load of them. Some different people. The same. Couple of the same. That's the crew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 3 rows of 5 is 15, 16, 17, 18 people. Let's say there's 20 people. And let's say they, on average, pay somewhere between the first and second price. Like 1 or 2 will pull the average up, but like, what's the first and second price? Because, you know, they're not going to be... Some of them might want to be so cruel as to only pay the £4, says Scotty, who accepts tips on the internet. But the $15.50 a month is quite expensive, I think, for that. But then I run, you know, the same sort of system where people can quite happily contribute more per month if they so choose. So, but then I'm not sort of hiding it behind a paywall and saying there's something here you can buy. Right, but maybe this is somewhere sat somewhere in the middle of it. But yeah, let's say it's 10, 20 of them, and they each give her £10 a month. That would be... Still, you're doing a lot of work for £200 a month, aren't you? In that you're 3 times a week streaming to private people. But then it's not work, is it? You're just talking shit, really. So... I think I should do the Zooms. Private Zooms. Yeah, but what would you do? You see, right? Let's say I decided to do private Zooms for £4 to £10 a ticket, and I had 20 people in them, yeah? That's £200 a month. But I'm doing 3 private Zooms a week. Like, if I was a hairdresser and I did a full session with someone, I'd get... Like let's say a hairdresser in an hour can earn about £40 an hour. Like, if I did a full session, colour cut and all that, I can do the £200. Like, you know, 2 clients average out, you know, 2 or 3 clients in a hairdressing day. You know, in a standard bit of hairdressing day's work, I can earn more money than she's earning in a month, in a day. Yeah, in one day. Like, you have to make sure, when I'm doing what I'm doing on the internet, I mean, I don't know how she's getting money from other places, but I'm looking, you know, my baselines are like, would it be better to just go and work in a minimum wage job? Like, for her, I think it would be better to go and work in a minimum wage job, because she's doing 3 sessions a week and she's getting £200 a month. We said, like, average rough, maybe she gets more, maybe they're signed up to the bigger ticket numbers, some of them, but let's say she gets £200 a month for that. Like, 3, 6, 9, that's 12 sessions for £200. I need the calculator. My brain's too dead. Google up the calculator, please. So £200 divided by, what did we say, 12 sessions? So she's getting £16 a session. So for one of those live streams she does, she gets £16 on the Patreon. Yeah, every time she goes live on Patreon like that, which she's committed to doing 3 times a week, she's earning £16. She's got a lot of people there, 20, and they're all giving her quite a reasonable 4 to 10. So I guessed about £10 each. That's quite reasonable, but for a monthly tally for the work she's doing, she's getting £16 per live stream. So let's say the live stream is more than an hour, or about an hour. She's just about doing over minimum wage, and she can only do it 3 times a month. She can't earn any more. She can't do extra shifts. Like, she's getting, so she really needs to sell on the other products, her other services. She really needs to sell that on, doesn't it? Because this can't make the money. And the other thing is, though, right, is that she's locked in now. Like, you've got 20 people who expect you 3 times a week, and if you don't turn up, then they're not going to want to keep giving you money, because they're paying you and this is what you're doing. Like, but for that £16 a session, it's not even worth turning up. You're better off going and doing something else. So Like, I used to do Patreon for the ASMR, and the deal was I was giving private videos for a certain tier, and that was just about worth it, I suppose, you know. But I've like looked at it like I could sit down and make an ASMR video, like, and the amount of effort and time it takes me, even a 20-minute one, and I put it on the internet, and everyone gets to benefit from it. And then I do it privately for money, and then only one person gets to benefit from it. I get the system. That made me feel a bit uncomfortable, though, yeah, that whole thing. But then the other thing about it is that, like, if you're running a, like, me, okay, so we're talking about streaming. If I do an evening stream, I'm not saying I'm going to definitely get more than £16 or whatever, but my videos that go on YouTube that exist afterwards, you know, watching it on stream, YouTube views, AdSense, all that gets more than £16. So, like, the point of me doing a 3-hour stream on YouTube for tippies I'm very grateful for, obviously, and I want the tippies, that's part of it, but I can't count on them, can I? I'm not like saying to people, come into Patreon and see this extra thing, and, you know, I'm not trying to hide any paywall stuff. I'm giving extra to the members sometimes because now we've got members, but really it's just that's generosity that I'm really grateful for. But I don't, like, you know, for her it's in the bank already, they've already paid for this. And then for me, there's the YouTube aspect of the AdSense revenue, you know, the money that comes in from YouTube. There's the tippies. I get more money from tippies, obviously, than I get AdSense money. There's the tippies. And then there's the, what's the other one? The prospect of a sponsor. With what she's doing, she can't get tippies, really. She's not running a YouTube stream when there's tippies coming in. She's in the private patron room. She thinks it's better to run private patron rooms than open YouTube streams. Yeah, the YouTube streams are just an advert to get them in the patron because she thinks the money's better when you've got them on Patreon. But it's not. The money's better if you're running private, public YouTube streams. One tipper can just eradicate that. Boom. All of your patron grift. This is the thing for her. This is the funny thing about what she's doing. Yeah, all of her patron grift, assuming that I've got the numbers right. You know, obviously, if I've got the numbers wrong, you can change these numbers. Like, let's double it. Let's say all of a sudden everyone's paying double. You've got £400 a month on your Patreon. Divide that by 12 sessions that you do. £30 a session. Again, I have one generous tipper plus my AdSense revenue. It's better to be on YouTube live with a bigger group, having fun, yeah? And then on top of that, the video stays up. So with my Madeline McCann lives, people can go watch them now. They're still there. So I don't get £1 million off them every month, but I get like 0.5p or whatever it is. And like, it adds up though. So now my AdSense revenue is slowly increasing as I make more and more legacy content on the internet. Not bollocks throwaway stuff like, oh, what timelines are slipping and here's how to balance your chakra. But like, you know, the legacy content that's worth people watching, like the reason that there's a value proposition in there is because I've created some media that people can watch. Like that stuff, as you build it up, that can become part of your income too. So she can't have any of that because she's doing these on private patrons. So do you see what I mean? Like, it's not even a cost. Like, if you sit down as a business model and say, I'm running a business, I need to make X amount of money a month in order to keep above board and, you know, keep the doors open. So there's my red line. This is the money I'm proposing that I bring in. This is how I'm going to bring it in. This is why you do this as a business plan. It doesn't fucking work. It's stupid. You're better off being on YouTube, standard, like all the secret money you get on Patreon, you know, all that, you know, get them in on the Patreon, £4 a month, £4 a month. I'm really grateful to my members, of course. I see my memberships as a bit more stability, that I can look and say that's coming in at the end of the month. These people have chosen to become members. A lot of them are gifted members, I get that, but the people that, you know, choose to renew, I guess they're the ones that are more committed, that I can maybe count on next month as well. I mean, that's counting your chickens before they're hatched, but you know what I mean, it's more stability, isn't it? People have chosen to become a member, I get that, rather than just a tip here, a tip there. Maybe, you know, that's not so stable, but it is, because it all adds up, and it's over a long period of time it creates its own stability, you know what I mean? But, you know, there are trends and balances or whatever, but I think that more importantly, growth as well, like growth. She's using YouTube as a marketing tool to get people in here instead of growing YouTube and just having it as the thing that is success. She wants them in here, but as we just examined, the business model doesn't work unless you can get them on these bigger plans. But at what point does it break even then? At what point do you think one session of work that you've, you know, because you've done all the work behind the scenes to get them in there. You've done all the videos that you've done to put on YouTube, and, you know, that's all work as well. How much do you want to be paid for your, you know, hours rate? As a hairdresser, £40 an hour for me. And anything below that is not what I'm aiming for. You know, I'm aiming for above that, really, aren't I? And I know that I don't work every hour God sends, and I'm not just talking about online hours. I'm talking about how much time you put into your endeavours. But, you know, I want to be productive. Because I need that money to make better stuff, like to, you know, push the content forwards and to eventually buy things in life that I want to have. I think that's okay. So when you do it, you do have to have a think about, like, you know, I was content. I was going to say, look, we did a year and a half of staying in with COVID. I'm going to do another year and a half staying in on the computer and see if I can become a streamer. And I have been through tough times. Like, you know, I've been through the difficult, not so much money times personally. Absolutely, you know, I know how difficult things can be, but I'm not naive to the realities of what, you know. So I think it's a strange naivety of Arlen Clark here. I mean, like I said, maybe she gets, let's just bump it up, £38 a month. £38 a month. Let's say it's 40 times the 20 people that were in there. That's £800 a month. That sounds quite a lot. Divide it by the 12 sessions. That's £60 a session. So now we're getting somewhere. But you have to be on the top tier, and all of them have to be on the top tier, and it's still only £60 a session. Oh, £60 a session's talk shit's loads, yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like, top professional people who, like, you know, how much do you think per hour, like, you know, and how are you going to increase this? You just get more patrons, I suppose, and then it gradually creeps up as you get more patrons. But, like, how are you going to double that number? You're not. And you have to do this 3 times a week, otherwise it goes down. Like, you're committed, you're locked in. And it's not, they're not running at £800. Like, they're not all buying the top tier, are they? You know, it's much more likely to be those other smaller numbers. But you see how even the big number, when you divide it by the number of sessions you do per week, it becomes a small number for the amount of work she's doing, or supposedly doing. But no, she's turning up. Like, she's turning up and running those, you know, Zooms. I don't know how long they last for. You know, I don't know if they're... the one that we saw there was an hour. So she's at least doing the hour. And she could be working somewhere, anywhere between £10 and £60 an hour here. But my guess would be it's more like £20 an hour she's working at to do these. And she can't, like I say, she's locked herself in now, committed to this group. She might be getting more. She might use it to market more stuff to them. But £20 an hour is her... And she's doing quite well. To me, that's a lot of people in there. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that are deciding to pay the extra and turn up to the inner circle thing. And, like, you know, a better example, I'm a bit worried sometimes. Big up Slinky Socks, actually, I should shout this out. I'm a bit worried sometimes. Like, I've noticed that Slinky Socks recommended Trisha's services in our Discord, and that's okay because that's your personal recommendation, but you're also a mod, and it looks like we're promoting a sort of service, you know, like it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's lawnmower or, you know, hairdressing or anything. It looks like we as a Super Chuffer is like validating the service, and it's because it's a bit of one of those ones where some people might think it's this and it's that. I was a bit, I mean, I haven't critiqued it. I'm just saying now it comes up in this conversation here a bit. I don't know where it's a bit like Trisha doing the tarot, though. I was going to say, like, Trisha actually charges directly for the reading, yeah. So like, you can pay to have a reading with Trisha, and this is the equivalent, except they've all paid and you're doing it all at once. But it's still not running at the same return because of the number of sessions you do a week. It's still not running at the return that it would do for just Trisha to just do one tarot reading. You need 20 people. Trisha needs one person. So, like, I'm not saying Trisha's doing a blag. Like, people can choose to have their tarot read if they want. And the reason that I've been more friendly to Trisha than some of the others, because this is in the same ballpark, bear in mind. Like, you know, it all falls in the same ballpark of magic spells, crystal magic cards, and can you give me some money for the, you know, exchange of information, which is, I'm just telling you stuff that I'm just saying. But I feel that... Trisha's stuff seems a bit more, a bit less. There's definitely like it's not as predatory. Like you could go as far as looking at people who there are psychics who contact the dead of people because, like, you know, you get like that whole world. Like Trisha's the only one out of that whole. Okay, this is a better way of me saying it. Trisha is the only one out of that whole world on YouTube that I would countenance, you know, and have talking to us on the streams and be talking with. The rest of them I'm very negative about. So when people see our mods promoting a tarot service in the chat, oh, it's good, oh, I've had it done, you should have it done, it looks a bit like we're helping to solicit for someone that's a charlatan. So I would rather we didn't promote other people's services like that in the Discord for sure, if you're a mod. And with Trisha, it's a minefield that I tread through our content. But like that I mean, I've got the tarot cards myself here. You know, it's like I'm treading the minefield through the content, yeah. But it doesn't mean that I should like this whole world of giving people money on the internet for something in return that you can't put your finger on what it is. But I've seen people ripped off where they want to speak to their dead relatives so much because they're so heartbroken that they pay someone money who pretends they can speak to them and they can't, and it's just sad. So there's a lot of charlatans out there who basically prey on the vulnerable, and that whole world, you know, all of that. This is that, and so what? Yeah. So it's a really weird thing that because I'm talking about it, and like Trisha's our friend, but like it comes into it, and I just have to be like, you know, frank about it, don't I? Like this is the same thing. So yeah, I don't jive with any of that, and I think that she'd be better off on Trisha's model doing one-to-one sessions with people for 50 quid than doing all of this for the same sort of money. So yeah, she's got it wrong. Her premise and her setup here is wrong, and it doesn't work as a business plan, which is good to see because she's an idiot who's blagging people for money. So like we agree that she's an idiot who's blagging people for money. That's something we can all agree on, isn't it? Arlen Clark. Kurt, that goes up on the internet, I suppose, with everything I just said about Trisha on it at the end as well. Brilliant. It's not about Trisha anyway, it's about fucking tarot cards and the premise of selling people the service. I know you've had a personal reading, yeah, and the thing is, I've had the direct personal experience. She's read my cards on the stream. We haven't reacted to it yet, but she's read my cards on the stream. Maybe we should react to that now, actually. I don't know how long it'll take, but maybe now's a good time to segue into that, because I do want to react to it, because a lot of the things were accurate, but I worry, like, one of the basic things you do if you are a fraudulent, like I say, everyone else apart from Trisha is fraudulent in my eyes. Like, everyone else apart from Trisha is fraudulent, so I don't know why I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt to know, but the fraudulent aspect of it, it's the same as faith healing, is that they will research you first. So, like, a lot of things might ring true because they've researched you. And then the other thing that is the case is that there's a lot of things that, like, I don't have to know. I mean, it's unfair now because I know some of you and you've talked to me before and stuff, but I could say things to any of you that would be absolutely bang right. In fact, I've got a book, a Darren Brown book, where he's written a passage that applies to everyone, but everyone finds it to be personal and unique. And there's like a Victorian parlour trick where you say, like, I'll do a reading on you, and then you just give them this reading, and they go, oh, it's just like me. Like, you're an extrovert, but sometimes at parties you find that you find it difficult to make new friends. Like stuff like that, you know, and you say this stuff and people go, oh, that's just like me, but because it's just like everyone. But obviously there might be some direct personal stuff. If you're having, I don't know if you did readings like one-to-one where you can see each other on camera, because people can read body language and cues, and then there's a thing called cold reading, or like a kind of phishing where, like, you know, you give people vague things and then they start to hone in through conversation. So there are techniques that can be applied. With my reading from Trisha, the only questions I would have had is, I've made loads of videos on YouTube talking about stuff. So the things that were read about my past, have I said them on the internet? I don't know, can't remember. But could someone do a little bit of research on me and find out a couple of things that seemed quite personal, but I would have maybe said them in certainly, mental health support videos, maybe. So there's that. But I'm not saying she did that. I'm just saying, could that be done? Like with any of us, there's enough personal information out there, and enough. Like it's not just you; it's like the friends of you and the people around you. So, like I don't know, if I went on someone's Facebook and noticed that one of their Facebook friends was like, rest in peace so and so, and like was a testimonial account, and then noticed that that person went to the same school as all the other school friends, and so then I knew when they, so like I could infer that at about certain, I could say to you like, I'm seeing a person who's not with you anymore that was a part of a group, you know what I mean, like that sort of stuff. Yeah, see, this is the thing with Trisha, is she's very, very accurate, and I find it to be very compelling, the sort of accuracy. I would agree with your testimony there. My reading, yeah, agree. So Trisha's the only one who I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to, and especially as she doesn't push the sort of I'm magic and it's like all chakra crystal magic and stuff angle. She talks a lot about intuition. And to know where it feels like if we don't know where the magic is coming from, how can anyone claim that it's coming from this particular place? And those that don't claim anything and just say, well, these are the cards, this is what I'm saying, that's my intuition, and are not trying to claim any sort of special magic ground, I'd give them more of a pass, because it's up to the audience then to decide if they want to engage with it. The problem with there is an entire industry built around it being fake charlatans who rip people off for money. Like most of them are, and an awful lot of them are, and even the ones that believe themselves that they have some special gift, a lot of them don't, and just believe that they do, and are just like, a bit nutty. So, like, exposed time and time again. Most of them are. Here is one. And like I say, the problem, like the reason that we're talking about it like this, I'm going to keep all this on the end of the YouTube cut, I think, is because like it's a strange world that we don't necessarily have answers to. And there are people that, like Trisha as a person, I see as being quite honest, forthright, trustworthy. So for her to be like trying to con me, don't think so. Right? Look at it a different way, right? I do haircuts. I mean, I don't anymore. I can't be asked. I only do it for a few friendly people who like. I'd rather do haircuts than spend cash from weed. But the point is, I could do a haircut, yeah. And I would probably go up to people in the street and give them a flyer and say, "Do you want a haircut? I'll give you £5 off a haircut. Come and have a haircut. It'd be a good haircut, you choffer. You need your haircut. Look, I can see. I do a bit off the sides. Come on, I'll do it now. I could totally do that. It's just soliciting for my business, yeah. But it's not like seen in the same way as a tarot reader saying to you, you could do with a reading. I'll do your reading now. I know something about you that you'd like to understand about your love life. Come and do a reading. They're just soliciting their business, aren't they? So why is that so bad? In the same way as me in a flyer. But it feels like there's this other aspect of it that for the haircut, you get the haircut. For the tarot reading, not pointing the finger at Trisha, but for the tarot reading in general, you get someone messing with some cards and saying some bollocks, and it could or couldn't be true and whatever, and it's up to you. And like some people believe in it and this and that, but some people literally don't and are just doing it for money. So some people totally fake it, and there's loads of professional fakes that have been busted and proven over the years. And there's a lot of people that look at it as a playground for, like, if you're a con man, if you're an Alan Vinicum, if you're a female Alan Vinicum, that's the sort of thing you do. You go into that world, with glee, because most people in there are airy-fairy airheads who don't believe in science and are easy to blag. So this is a sort of con person's playground, like Psychic Sally, yeah. Having said that, no, I'm a human being and a modern, educated, scientific human being, but I've still had experiences that I could say spiritual, or I'm quite a spiritual person, I'd say, and also to the side of, like, I don't know what you'd call it, like woo magic-y. Like, I don't completely rule out everything. I've got some things that I rule out through science, but like, for example, a great example of this is Trisha's readings, where they are really good. They seem to be really I don't think she's cheating the cards, and I don't think she has got this super insider information. I don't know what the statistics are on certain aspects of things that she's read, like whether it's just that you could be making educated guesses, if that's what you call intuition, I don't know. But like, yeah, like, not just her, but other things that have happened in my life that I've thought, well, I believe in it something more, and here's an example of it. That does go on for me, so I'm not completely closed-minded, so to speak. But I feel it would be completely irresponsible of me to promote something on the internet because I've literally seen somebody who lost a person that was very close to them, and then for the rest of their life they paid money to people to tell them that they could talk to them, and that was wasted money, in my opinion. It was like they were better off going to therapy, and they didn't do it. Like, they didn't go to therapy; they went to this fucking psychic thing, and I was just like I was horrified because I know how sad they were about the loss of this loved person, and like to watch these people just take the money and just be like, yeah, oh, they're telling me this, this week my problems are this, oh well, they're telling you this, and just giving advice and stuff, and like whatever, like stuff like that would be, I don't know what actually went on in most of the sessions because I wasn't party to any of them really, but any of that stuff, I just thought it was absolutely horrific. Like, I get it that you don't want to let go of your loved ones who have died, but those people that you're giving the money to, they don't speak to them. They don't care. They just want your money. So that I thought was pretty bad. And it would have to be pretty nailed on for us to, as a group, like, bear in mind, like, the thing I was talking about, advertising it, is that I didn't say anything about it at the time because I just think, well, you've had your reading and that's your opinion and that's fine. But if I was to be a stranger who just came into the Discord, I might see a mod promoting a service and I might think, whoa, their mods are promoting this woman. Like, is this some sort of, scam angle? Like, a normal person might ask that question about promoting of a tarot reading service in a Discord in that way. Maybe that's me being paranoid, actually. Maybe I'm not being a normal person. Maybe I'm being paranoid and overthinking it, which is why I didn't say anything, and now I have, and I feel stupid. But yeah, so I just think we all need to be careful about that. But at the same time, I would like, in the content, to go and meet some of these people, to have them tell me their stories. Not Ireland so much. I think she's transparently talking shit. But someone like Trisha, I'd rather go and have, like, okay, here's a better way of explaining things as well. I'm not going to pay Trisha for any readings. Like, I'm not going to pay her for any tarot stuff. I would go and meet her and talk on make a video and do stuff together, like, collaborate on content, and let the audience make their own decisions. But that wouldn't be me promoting her, would it? And I'm not going to, like, have a financial, like, interest in promoting her, and I'm not going to, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to pay for the services either, because, like, why wouldn't I pay for the service? I just don't, me personally, I don't think I could. I just, like, yeah, I don't know. There was one moment during the reading, which if we react to the whole thing, we will get to, but there was one moment during the reading where she said, this is personal, I think, and I'm not going to say it on the internet. And I was in chat and I said, say it on the internet. Like, it's not come out of me. Like, you're doing the card reading. So if you said, like, I murdered someone, I don't care, because you're just saying it. Like, whatever you think is personal is not the reality of my life. You're reading cards on the internet and you don't know me, so, like, you could say whatever. Like, I don't I don't care. You can't, like, personal, yeah, but you could say personal things about me, but they don't have any validity. So it's not like it could really, I'd just be interested what they were, what you wanted to say, what you thought the cards were, right? But she decided not to say it on the internet, but instead that's personal. And then I felt like, does that mean that I now have to pay for a reading in order to find out that information? Is that like a sort of marketing thing where you do something and then you say, I've seen this, but you're going to have to pay for the next level? So although it probably wasn't, my cynical, like, this stuff combines two things that I'm really cynical about. One of which is, like, talking bollocks about stuff that's not scientifically factual, and the other one is marketing. So, Like, was that like a sort of, because as a hairdresser, I was taught by idiots who don't know anything to sort of do things like that, like use a hairspray, say, oh, this is wonderful, we just got this in, and then put it on the shelf in front of them, say, just leave that there in front of you for you to play with, and they'll buy that later. Was that seeding an idea where there was something that she wanted to say personally, therefore, I didn't follow it up and say, can you tell me what that personal thing is? And then she didn't say, only if you give me money. Like, that didn't happen, but it made me wonder about it, yeah. A friend of mine is clairvoyant. It was really scary for her when it started in big shops. She kept hearing what everyone was looking for. I don't know. She didn't know about the gift. She knew what I was thinking, caught me out all the time when I faked interest. Yeah, but maybe, right? Maybe it is easier to see when you're faking interest because you think you're quite good at it, but you actually look like you're faking interest. Maybe that she's a bit observant in that way. And the other thing is, hearing what everyone was looking for could just be psychosis. Like, because she doesn't know what everyone is actually looking for. Like, she doesn't actually know that's what they're thinking. Like, she can't confirm that. Without stopping everyone in the supermarket and saying, are you looking for Sprouts? Yes, they're in aisle 4 and thank you, tick. Like, you can't confirm it. But she might believe it because she might be suffering from some sort of delusion. There's that. Like, I think there's much more likelihood of mental illness than there is of psychic powers in the majority of people. Or at least some sort of delusion. Like, we all have at some point in our life some sort of hallucinogenic aspects. Like, when you fall asleep and when you wake up, you can have hallucinations. I don't know, most people have heard their name. Someone shouted my name. Who was that? It could just simply be that there was something of the same. Talking of frequencies, it could be something that, like, sounded a bit like your name, but because your brain is so used to processing that set of frequencies as your name, your brain corrected it into your name. Because you need to be alert and aware to your name. So it might have been that everyone else around you didn't hear it and heard something slightly different, like something banging against something metal, and it came out with a high pitch. Like, your brain constructs everything for you. Like, okay, you could be a transmitter of psychic energy, but your brain transmits all this. Like, your brain constructs everything for you. Like, nothing really exists to you or to anyone, does it? Like, it exists out there in the world, but your brain constructs it for you. There's no colours, there's no sound, there's your brain construction. So I think fallibility in the brain, very likely. Psychic abilities, less likely. Saying that, you're talking to someone who thinks they can predict the future in their dreams. I've got a funny relationship with all that, which is that in the cold light of day, I have to say out loud on the internet the rigorous scientific and logical things to say, certainly for the safety of people as well, I think, so as not to send people down strange, confusing paths. But at the same time, I have been involved in and experienced things that I would put completely in this sort of ballpark and say, well, that was a bit magic. Like, like seeing the future in dreams, for example, is a good example. So, yeah, it's a funny world, and it's a very big grey area in that there are some people. There's an extreme, like Ireland, that is clearly just some woman on the blag, and there are extremely deluded people who seem to believe in people like that. But there's a whole spectrum, and there's some quite. I'm more interested in people like Trisha who appear to be gifted, and I can't explain how or why, despite my scientific skepticism. Those sort of things are interesting. This would also be like a weekend with Ireland Clark would be fucking interesting. I don't think she'd be like that off camera all the time, but maybe she fucking is. But also a weekend with Trisha would be 10 times more interesting because, like, as I say, she's not making strange claims. And I don't think she herself would necessarily. This is why I want to get her on for a fucking full interview and stuff. I think she'd be grown up enough to accept some of the critiques I've put up against tarot in general, which is a fair critique because she must hear it a lot, and to talk about those things. And then also, it's a bit of a stupid big question, isn't it? How are you doing it then? But how are you doing it is like, and then to hear someone do a bit of a podcast monologue on that would be interesting.